There is one thing you can do with your cat today that takes less than 5 minutes, requires nothing except your presence, and will change the dynamic between you more reliably than anything else you could try. Not a training technique, not a treat-based routine, not a new toy, or a different food, or a change to their environment. Something quieter than all of that. Something that works precisely because it asks nothing of your cat and costs nothing except the willingness to show up and do it the same way, at the same time, every single day. Most cat owners never try it because it doesn't look like anything. It looks like sitting. It looks like doing nothing. And in a culture that equates effort with love and activity with care, doing nothing in a deliberate and consistent way is a harder practice than it sounds. But the cats who trust their people most completely, the ones who seek them out without being asked, who stay close without being held, who greet them at the door and sleep pressed against them and show up reliably in the moments that matter, those cats almost always have a person who does this one thing. Here's what it is. 1. You sit near your cat every day and you want nothing from them. Find where your cat is, not where you want them to be, where they actually are. Sit down near them, close enough that they're aware of you, far enough that you're not inside the space they'd need to vacate if they wanted to leave. Somewhere between 2 and 4 feet is usually right, though the specific distance will depend on your cat and where you are in the process of building this. And then you do nothing directed at them. You don't call their name, you don't extend your hand, you don't make sounds to get their attention. You don't look at them with the specific quality of attention that communicates wanting something from them, which cats read with a precision that would unsettle most people if they fully understood it. You just exist near them, with your body language communicating what needs to be communicated, which is that you have no agenda here. You're not waiting for them to do anything. You're not building toward a touch or a pickup or a play session. You brought nothing with you except yourself, and you're not asking for anything back. You can read. You can look at your phone. You can sit with your eyes closed. The specific thing you do with your own attention matters less than what your body is saying, which is that this moment has no demands in it for either of you. Do this for 5 minutes, the same time every day if you can manage it, because consistency is part of what makes it work. And then get up and go about your day without making a production of the ending. That's the practice. It looks like nothing. It is, for your cat, one of the most significant things you can offer. 2. Why cats experience shared space differently than shared attention. Here's the distinction that makes this work, and it's one that runs counter to most human intuitions about how affection is expressed. When you look at your cat with the intention of connecting with them, when you call their name, or reach toward them, or arrange your body to signal that you want something to happen between you, you are making a social demand. A gentle one, a loving one, but a demand. Cats experience demands differently than humans do. For humans, a bid for connection is usually received as positive, an expression of care, something to respond to with warmth. For cats, a bid for connection is something that requires a response. And the requirement of a response, however mild, is a form of pressure. Cats who are not fully settled in a relationship, who haven't yet accumulated enough consistent evidence that the person is safe and reliable, experience that pressure as something to be managed. The management looks like moving away, or staying but tensing, or tolerating the contact without relaxing into it. Shared space without demand is different. When you are simply present without wanting anything, there is no pressure to manage. Your cat's nervous system can assess you, find nothing requiring action, and return to whatever it was doing. You have become, in that moment, a feature of the environment rather than an agent within it. And a safe, calm, consistent feature of the environment is one of the things cats need most to feel settled. Over days and weeks of this practice, something shifts. Your cat begins to associate your nearby presence not with the anticipation of a demand, but with the absence of one. You sitting near them starts to mean rest is possible here. Safety is available here. Nothing is required of me here. That association, once established, is remarkably stable and remarkably deep. 3. What consistent daily practice does that occasional practice cannot? Cats build trust through pattern, not through intensity. not through grand gestures or exceptional moments, through the slow, reliable accumulation of evidence that a person is who they appear to be across time and across varying circumstances. A single session of sitting quietly near your cat produces some effect. It's a data point. Your cat registers it and files it, but a single data point doesn't shift much. It sits alongside all the other data points that make up their experience of you, and it influences the overall picture only slightly. 10 days of the same practice produces something different. 20 days produces something different again. Not because the sessions themselves have changed, but because the pattern has become visible to your cat's nervous system in a way that a single session never could. What your cat is tracking, across those daily repetitions, is not the content of each session. It's the fact of it. The reliable appearance of you in this configuration, at approximately this time, with this same quality of presence, day after day without exception. That reliability is what trust is built from in the cat's experience. Not warmth, though warmth matters. Not affection, though affection matters too. Reliability. The demonstrated consistency of a person who shows up the same way, repeatedly, without requiring that each showing up produce a specific result. And if this is something you want to start today, hit like and subscribe before you do. It helps us reach more cat owners who want to build the kind of relationship with their cat that lasts. 4. How to read what your cat's body is telling you during these sessions. The practice only works if you know what to look for, because the signs of it working are subtle and easy to miss. In the early sessions, your cat may leave. They were there when you sat down, and 5 minutes later, they're somewhere else. This is not failure. This is your cat exercising exactly the kind of free choice that makes the practice meaningful. They left because they could. They knew they could. The door was open. That's the point. In the middle sessions, your cat may stay but hold a neutral quality of body, not tense, not relaxed, not oriented toward you, just present in the way they're present when you're furniture. This is progress, though it doesn't feel like it. Furniture is trusted. Furniture doesn't require monitoring. In the later sessions, you'll start to see something different. The body softens, not dramatically. A slight lowering of the head, a shift in posture from held to loose. The tail resting rather than moving, eyes that go from open and clear to half-lidded. And then, somewhere in the weeks of consistent practice, the thing that makes the whole process suddenly legible, your cat moves closer. Not in response to anything you did. Not because you called them or moved toward them or offered anything. Just at some point during the session, the distance closes. They chose to reduce it. When that happens the first time, don't react. Don't reach for them. Don't acknowledge it in any way that might collapse the moment back into demand. Just let it happen and let it be what it is. Your cat decided to come closer to you while you were wanting nothing from them. That's the thing you were building toward. That's what it looks like when it arrives. 5. What this practice repairs in relationships that have accumulated damage. This is for the cat owners who have a specific situation. The cat who was once more open and has pulled back. The rescue cat who made progress and then seemed to stop. The cat who tolerates you but doesn't quite seek you out. Who accepts contact but doesn't initiate it. Who is present in the house but not quite present in the relationship. The quiet daily sit is the most effective repair practice available for these situations, and the reason is the same reason it works for building trust from scratch. It removes the pressure that accumulated in the first place. Most relationships with cats that have pulled back have a history of well-intentioned pressure in them, not mistreatment. Just the ordinary human tendency to want more than the cat is currently offering, and to let that wanting shape behavior in ways the cat can sense. Every day of the practice is a day where you demonstrate something different, where you sit near them and nothing is required and nothing goes wrong, and you get up and leave without having taken anything. The data accumulates. The pressure history starts to be replaced by a different history. It takes longer with these cats than with cats who are building trust for the first time. The accumulation that needs to be overwritten is deeper, but the practice works in the same direction and for the same reasons. You are not fixing anything in these sessions. You are simply showing up, consistently and without demand, until the evidence of who you are outweighs the evidence of what the relationship has been. 6. The trust you build this way is a different kind of trust. There is a version of trust that cats extend because they have no better option. Because you're the one who feeds them, and the environment offers nothing else. Because proximity has been required, and tolerance has developed into something that looks like acceptance from a distance. That's not what this builds. What the daily quiet practice builds is chosen trust. The trust of a cat who has had consistent evidence, accumulated over weeks and months of exactly this kind of showing up, that you are safe to be near without needing anything in return. That your presence is not a prelude to demand, that the distance between you can close at their initiative and mean exactly what they intended it to mean. The cat who develops this kind of trust with you does not stay near you because they have to. They stay near you because their nervous system, given the full and unencumbered choice, finds your vicinity to be the most comfortable place available to them. That's not a small thing to become to another living creature. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive in a single moment you can point to. It builds the way real things build, slowly and underneath the surface, until one day you notice that your cat is simply always near you, and you can't remember exactly when that started, and the trying it required has long since dissolved into something that just feels like the natural shape of your life. Together. That's what you're building. 5 minutes. Every day. Wanting nothing. Starting today.